Okay, Spanky's back, Rascal II, and this board isn't meant to replace the original Rascal. It's real similar in a lot of ways, carries tons of speed. It's all about small waves and carrying heaps of speed. So it's not meant to replace the original Rascal, but it's just kind of another version of it. And I came up with this just from having so much fun riding my original Rascal over the last year and a half, 2 years, that I wanted to do something that was the same type of thing, but would also work in a little bit more, versatility to throw it right in the hook without worrying about that front end digging. And where the original Rascal has a lower entry rocker, I just from like the last 18 inches, 12, 18 inches, just bent the rocker a little bit more on the Rascal II. And what that does is it just fits a little tighter in the pocket, so that on, when you get something that's, say, small but has some shape to it, you can throw it right in that hook, and that front end is going to just come right around and not hiccup on you. Like sometimes, that front end will just dig for that 1 second, whoa, and if you can get rid of that little hiccup, why not? So that's what the Rascal II does. And but from here back, the rocker, whole contours are still virtually identical to the original Rascal. So once you get up and going, you're carrying that same speed, and but able to hook it tighter. And the bottom still runs a single concave under the front foot, and you get that front foot kind of engine off the middle of the board again, which is key in small wave boards. You want that front foot drive right off the bat, because a lot of times you're not standing up right in a perfect pocket and able to ramp in, but you're more like getting into something mushy and weak, and you want to boom, have that thing rocket, and you'll be off your front foot, and then usually shift to your back foot once you set it up. But on this, you'll notice the Rascal II, I have these 4 channels. And they're called parabolic channels because they're curved. You'll notice how they're curved, this way, kind of with the outline of following the outline of the board. And they're not super deep. They're shallow 4 parabolic channels. And what those do is channels create more air under the board through the tail, so more lift, more speed, more drive. And channels also shuttle the water through your through the rocker. So you're getting water to shuttle straighter through this area of the board. That's where everything's taking place. That's where all your turning areas are. And if you're able to get water pushed through your tail quicker, it makes for a faster surfing board. So the benefits of channels are really awesome. And in the past, channel bottoms have had a negative side effect in choppy conditions. You'll hear they can wash out on you. Or also another thing is that channels can sometimes get tracky. So when you're coming out of a turn, they'll want to stay on that trajectory and not break out of the turn. Well, that's where shallow curved channels give you the benefits of the drive of channels, but they don't have the side effects of the negatives of channels. And that's because since they're curved, they'll break out of a turn without tracking like a straight channel will. And then also, since they're shallow, they're not going to get so much air underneath them on a day when there's some chop in the face that you're going to have the board start to cavitate or do weird things like that. So, and actually in this design with the spiral bead, you throw these channels in there, it actually gives the board a little bit more grip, and it's a really neat feeling. So these are kind of the key design concepts in this board, also with that little extra entry rocker. And then you can see I've also set it up as a 5-fin, so you can ride it as a quad or as a thruster. Thruster typically, is going to be more better for a little bit pushier stuff, or guys that have more powerful style to really lay into it. the thruster is gonna just hold better. And the quad setup, that works really good, I've found, for sectiony, small, mushy point breaks, where normally you can't make that section. You come flying through one part, and then you hit the long dead section, and you're just trying to get it, and you see, you know, the people taking off in front of you having a good old time further down the line. You want to be able to bolt rocket through those flat spots, and the quad setup on this board, that's its best feature on this thing, is that you got no back fin, so that reduces drag, and so it's like taking the brakes off. And you ride this thing as a quad, and you are flying through stuff that, you know, 99% of everybody else is not making, and you're able to link up those things. So that's kind of the best setup for the quad to bring its, you know, best features to light. And my personal favorite, to tell you the truth, is the large side fins with a small trailer. I think that's the best, most versatile setup for the Rascal series boards. But it's nice to have the options to try different stuff. It's like getting two boards in one. And let's see what else. Also a little different on this is, you see this tail, it's a moontail, just crescent shape. And what that does, the moontail, because some people you hear them say, oh, tail shape, it's all just looks and it doesn't really do anything. And tail shapes I don't think make or break a board, but they do something. They don't do nothing. And on this board, using the moontail, what it does is, when all this water is getting pushed through the tail, through these channels, through this spiral V, you got a lot going on in here. It's getting forced through this tail, and the moontail allows all that water to exhaust out of there without getting hung up in the tail shape at all. And the moontail does that really well. It's kind of like a big exhaust pipe for all the water that's flying through the channels. And we also put a slight concave. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's a slight concave that's in the deck of this, that the original Rascal just has a real flat deck. This actually has a slightly concave deck, and that makes the board flex on rails, so it feels like a springboard under your feet. And it also just has this neat feeling like you're in the wave. It's hard to explain, but it's just a really neat concept, kind of like a skateboard. Same concept as a skateboard. Reacts real quick rail to rail, makes you feel in the wave, and gives the board a nice flex through the length of the board to really just slingshot in. And that is the Rascal II. This one's nice and bright. 80s colors are coming back.
Corner of Todd's mouth. The Rascal. Rascal II. This is old man Rascal over here. This is the real Rascal. Exposed. Rascal exposed. Leo, where are you? Leo Carilla? Leo Carilla. Going fishing. Danny nearly just got see that with his door open.
Bullets. So should we pad this one up?
The bullet, check it out.
Now there's rocks here, so you can't lose your board.
I gotta leave. It's on. What are we doing today? Just testing out some of Todd's new little inventions. We've got the Rascal, the bullet, right? the grease pig, the four leaf, and another little four leaf quad fish type board. So we're gonna check them out and see how good they all go. Sick.
Yeah, mites.
Let's go.
Okay, we got wax.
You got wax?
Got wax. We need a pad for that one, and then we'll